Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today is another school tip Saturday video, and today I'm going to talk about time management, and I think it's something that we all struggle with as students, but I'm just going to share with you guys a few tips to really get the most out of your time. So first of all, in this video I'm going to calculate with you guys just like how much time you would actually have. You can do the calculation depending on your schedule, because this is just an example obviously, but I mean, like, you're just gonna realize just how much time you actually have on your hand if you don't procrastinate and do the stuff like when you're supposed to do it. I made a few calculations for you guys. So since there's 24 hours in a day and there's 7 days in a week, it means you have 168 hours a week, okay? Let's say you sleep 8 hours per day, which is like the average, 7 days a week. You spend 56 hours a week sleeping. That's a lot. Let's say you take 1 hour to eat each meal of the day. 3 hours a day for 7 days. It makes 21, yes I did look to make sure, but 21 hours a week of eating. I know this really depends. Some people have like 10 hours of classes, some people have 40 hours of classes. But let's say an average of 20 hours a week of school. And let's say you have a part-time job, like 20 hours a week as well. That would be that. But I mean, like, you do your own calculations depending on that, you know? But that's just an example. That makes a total of 117 hours a week. So that still leaves you with 51 hours, except for like midterms and like finals and just like times where it's like a lot of schoolwork. Usually like 20 hours a week would be more than enough to do like all your homework and study and outlining and all the stuff you need to do for school. That would still leave you like 31 hours a week of leisure and hobbies and just things you can do, okay? So that was just to like make you realize just how much time you have if you don't procrastinate. So yeah, that was just to make you realize like just how much time you have on your hand, and now like you see exactly like what procrastination does to you. But if you're really like organized and active proactive and you do the stuff like when you're supposed to do it and you don't like put it till later, you'll see like you're gonna have so much time on your hand. So anyways, now let's move on to tips. So for homework and schoolwork and all that, I would actually give you a day off, so maybe like Sunday or Saturday, or maybe like a day where you have to work or something, but just like one day off where you don't do any of that stuff. So I would suggest to do 3 to 4 hours a day of homework and school related stuff, but I would actually try to span it out like throughout the day, not like 3 hours straight because you're gonna go crazy. So just like maybe if you have a break between classes, or like in the morning when you wake up you can do a little bit of studying or like outlining because it's not really too demanding, and then like you go to school and after school you do homework, and then like you eat dinner and you do a little bit of outlining or reading at the end of the day, something like that. One tip I would give you guys, and I always repeat it, but if you pay attention in class, you're actually gonna save half the study time, just because you know where to find the stuff and you already know the information way more than if you did not pay attention. So always keep that in mind and always take good notes, because it's gonna be a whole lot easier to study afterwards. One thing I would suggest is to do to-do lists every single day, and don't put too much stuff on it, because if it's too long you're just going to be overwhelmed and you're going to put it to later because you're like, I'm never going to be able to do all that, and you're just going to be overwhelmed and you're going to accomplish way less than you actually would if you like planned a manageable amount of tasks. Another thing I would suggest is to make a schedule, and obviously you gotta be responsible and stick to it. So if you make a study schedule and you really like set in your schedule like that day at that hour I'm going to be studying, and that day at that hour I'm going to be studying, it's going to be a whole lot easier like to do all the work you're supposed to be doing than if you just say, oh, I have 1 hour studying to do like sometimes, you know. And once again, like, don't make excuses, it's your responsibility. So if you really need to move that part you were supposed to be studying at, but you have something else that came up and you really need to move it, but don't just erase it, you know, like just transfer it to somewhere else so like you still get a job done. So it's your responsibility, and I know like I really emphasize on your responsibility, but in college it's always about that, and even in high school, I mean, it's never too early to be responsible, but just like do the work when you're supposed to be doing it, and just like be organized, and everything's gonna be fine. Now, this is kind of similar, but establish a routine. Every single week is gonna be pretty similar unless you have like crazy stuff going on. So every week you're going to be having the same school schedule and probably like a similar work schedule every single week as well. And if you have trainings and like sports and stuff like that, it's always going to be around the same like time. So you can easily like make a routine around it, like for your homework, outlining and all that. So let's say I wake up like an hour early every day to outline. That would be really, really bad, but I mean or just like after dinner, I always take a few minutes to outline my book for the next day or something like that. It just makes it all easier. So just establish a routine, and I think it takes up to a month to actually like include something in your routine, or if it's not a month, it's maybe like 3 months, but it's really not that long. So like if you really can stick to it and like force yourself to do it until it becomes just a habit and you don't even have to think about it anymore, well, good job. I keep on telling you guys to be organized, and I think the best way to do that is to have a planner with you. I feel like a planner is really the best way to like get organized and plan your stuff, honestly. So I have a video on planners, how to organize your planner, and I have tons of ideas for all kinds of planners, so I'm just going to leave it down below, and if you want to see it, just like click the link and you're going to be able to see all my ideas to organize your planner. So today we're talking about time management, right? So it kind of goes along with procrastination. Fighting procrastination. Procrastination is the worst enemy of students, but it's always there, you know. So I have 2 videos on procrastination, which I'm going to leave down below as well. Procrastination is kind of like a muscle. Well, fighting procrastination actually. So like if you really exercise like fighting procrastination and you're really active and all that, it's going to become a whole lot easier to fight procrastination as you go along. So it's always about like staying focused. Yeah, be focused, people. And that was my last point actually. So stay focused and avoid distractions like TV, cell phone and all that when you're studying, and when you're studying, just like turn off every electronics if you don't have to use them, and just like be really focused on the task you have to do. And also try not to multitask. I feel like some people think they're good at multitasking, but it's kind of proven that you're not. So yeah, you can actually get the job done even if you're doing tons of stuff at the same time, but it's never going to be as good as if you're really focused on one single task. And I actually wrote a paper on that for my psychology class. But yeah, so make sure to just like focus on the task you're supposed to be doing, and it's going to take a whole lot less time than if you're checking Facebook and Instagram every single second. And also, I talked about this a lot, but if you need to, just use rewards. So like if it's really hard for you to focus on one task and like get a job done, just use rewards. So every time like you get a task done, you can get a reward. It could be like anything, like watching TV or YouTube or like eating something good or whatever. Just use rewards. That way like you're gonna like have a goal. So you finish that and you get something in return. So yeah, I think that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave any questions you have down below, and make sure to come back next Saturday for new school tips. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!